Hello future doctors and medical technologists, welcome back again to another episode of Histology Lecture, and I'm Sir Neil and I'll be your professor for today. Okay, so our topic for today will be muscle. Okay, so muscle is found in every part of our body, as you all know. Okay, for you to understand muscle better, let's have an overview. Okay, these are the terminologies that you need to understand or be familiar when we are we are going to tackle this topic. Okay, so when we say muscle fiber, guys, what we are referring to is the muscle cells. Okay, the muscle cells are also called muscle fibers. The muscle fibers are the muscle cells. So please don't be confused. No, when I keep saying muscle fiber, I'm referring to the individual muscle cells. Okay, another term that you need to be familiarized with is the sarcolemma. Okay, sarcolemma is the cell membrane of the muscle cells. Sarcoplasmic reticulum is the smooth, remember, smooth endoplasmic reticulum of your muscle cells. Okay, the sarcosomes are the mitochondria, while the sarcoplasm is the cytoplasm. Okay, so another overview is that muscle is classified into three types. No, tulurad yun na sila, guys. We have the skeletal, the cardiac, and the smooth muscle. So gaya na nabanggit ko sa ating laboratory discussion, no, the myoblast have three routes. Okay, meron siyang three routes na kung saan siya pwede mapunta, no? It can be skeletal muscle if they decided to fuse together, maging cardiac muscle if decided to join together but not fuse, no, yung walang fusion. So visible dyan ang intercalated disc, or move on and become a smooth muscle. Okay, so yan yung mga three routes. Okay, the three routes, remember, three routes na sila. Muscle cells possess contractile filaments containing actin and myosin. So if you remember sa ato ang HISTO LEC topic, yung sa pinaka first, no, in the structure of your cytoskeleton, 'di ba? Meron tayong mga filaments doon, the intermediate filaments, and it contains, no, in the muscle pala, it contains actin and myosin. That's why your muscle can be voluntary or involuntary. Okay, so contraction may be voluntary, such as skeletal muscles, or involuntary, such as for your cardiac muscle and smooth muscles. Okay, so another overview that you need to know is that all muscle tissues consist of elongated cells called fibers. So gaya na sinabi ko, muscle fibers is equal to muscle cells. Okay, the cytoplasm of muscle cells is called sarcoplasm, and the surrounding cell membrane or plasmalemma is called sarcolemma. So yung mga sarco dyan na term, guys, it refers to muscle. That's why if you heard some terminologies na hindi mabanggit sa histo natin or mabasa nyo sa book, basta sinabing sarco, it refers to the muscle. So either of the three, no, depende kung ano yung tinamaan, no. It can be skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle, or the smooth muscle. Okay, so regarding sa itong tatlo, let's move on to the next slide and check the types of muscle tissue. So we have three types: the skeletal, the cardiac, and the smooth. Okay, to be specific, no, the skeletal muscle is a striated type of muscle because you can clearly see the striation, whereas yung cardiac muscle natin is also a striated type of muscle, but they are striated because of the intercalated disc. Remember, there is no fusion involved in your cardiac muscle. However, in your skeletal muscle, there is fusion. Okay? Fusion. Alright. So, for the smooth muscle, since it decided to move on and yun mature on its own, it is non-serrated. So, ibig sabihin, they are single cell po, guys. No? So, you can clearly see them in single cell. Walang mga striation na makitaan dyan. Okay, regarding sa movement, voluntary ang ating skeletal and both are involuntary sa ating cardiac and smooth muscle. For the picture, can you appreciate the striations here? Yan. And also the striations present in your cardiac muscle as well as itong ating mga intercalated discs. Okay? While the smooth muscle, you can clearly see the individual smooth muscle dito, 'di ba? Yan ang mga individual smooth muscle. Walang striation or whatsoever. Okay, so let's check the muscle distribution of each muscle type. Okay, for the skeletal muscle, it comprises all named voluntary muscles in the body. Example is your gastrocnemius, latissimus dorsi, and most or originate or insert in bone. Okay, for the cardiac muscle, guys, it is limited to heart and Ito ha, tandaan, the large blood vessels attached to the heart. Okay? It is limited to the heart and the large blood vessels attached to the heart. Okay? For the smooth muscle, guys, no, it is present in the walls and parenchyma of most visceral organs, the walls of your blood vessels and your skin. Why? Because the skeletal muscle, 'di ba, may mga striation, it makes them stronger or hard, 'di ba? Yung parang it has ability to contract. That's why voluntary yung ating magawa na movement sa skeletal. Whereas the smooth muscle, guys, no, they are situated in the organs na hindi nabilong ang cardiac muscle. Okay? So, almost all organs except sa heart, no, kay merong smooth muscle. Okay? I hope naintindihan niyo dyan. Because the cardiac muscle is only limited to the heart, no, which is tawag sa muscle doon sa heart is myocardium. And then the large blood vessel in the heart. Okay? Anong klaseng blood vessel yon? Your superior vena cava. Okay? So, meron pa kasi blood vessels po ito, no? Blood vessel. So, you need to search and check, no, kung ano po yung mga large blood vessels na nandyan sa heart. Basta pag sa heart, cardiac. Okay? So now let's talk about them individually. Let's talk about skeletal muscle first. Okay, so your skeletal muscle, guys, no, has 3 coverings or layers po na tinatawag natin. Let's start with the epimysium. Your epimysium is a connective tissue which envelops the muscle. Okay, so when we say epimysium, it is a connective tissue that envelops the whole muscle. So, ibig sabihin, itong buong muscle na to, no, is enveloped by your epimysium. When I say perimysium, guys, no, these are connective tissue which envelops muscle bundles or the muscle fascicles. Okay, so when we say fascicles, guys, no, ang ginamin dyan is, di ba meron tayong single muscle fiber, no, muscle fiber or yung muscle cell. Pag maraming muscle fiber na mag-join together or your group together, they are called your muscle fascicles or muscle bundle. Okay? Pag they are grouped together, yung mga muscle fiber na natin, they are called muscle fascicles. Ngayon, ang nag-cover sa kanila or the thing that envelops your muscle fascicles, your muscle fibers na bundle, is what we call the perimysium. Okay, so nagets niyo, no? For the individual muscle fiber, yung individual ha, individual. For the individual muscle fiber, ang nag-cover dyan or what lines or envelopes your individual muscle fiber is the endomysium. Okay, so it surrounds the muscle fiber. It surrounds the muscle fiber and it is consists of basal lamina plus free reticular fibers plus connective tissue elements. Okay, so please understand. You have your picture here. Let's try to identify. Okay, so itong individual muscle fiber nito, this single muscle fiber here, no? It's a single muscle fiber. So tandaan nyo, muscle cell yan ha, di ba? So kapag muscle cell, meron yan siyang sarcoplasmic reticulum, meron siyang own membrane, no, which is sarcolemma. Meron siyang sarcoplasmic reticulum. Meron siyang yung mga sinabi nating filaments, no, that enables it to move, no? Filaments such as your actin and myosin. Tama? Tama, sir. Okay, that muscle fiber ngayon, yung individual muscle cell na yan, is lined or enveloped by your endomysium. Okay, yung nag-cover sa kanya or nag-align or nag-envelope sa kanya is your endomysium. I hope you understand. Okay? So ngayon, kapag isang grupo na sila, magsasama-sama sila, guys, no? Ang tawag sa kanila ngayon is muscle fascicles or muscle bundles. Okay? Ngayon, ang tawag sa covering nila or yung nag-envelope sa kanila na itong puti na part dito, this one, ang tawag dyan ngayon is the perimysium. Okay? Kapag multiple muscle bundles naman are grouped together, no, to make the entire muscle tissue, ang tawag sa covering nila is the epimysium. Okay? So, I hope you understand or naintindihan niyo yung gusto kong sabihin sa inyo. Okay? So, let's move on sa individual part ng ating muscle. Let's start with the muscle fiber. Okay, so what you have here now is a muscle fiber. Okay, let's take a look at the diagram of this muscle fiber. Isa-isahin natin siya. Okay, first, I want you all to notice the presence of your sarcomere. So, by the way, this is one single muscle fiber, one single muscle cell, or ang other name niya is myocyte. Okay, one single muscle fiber, muscle cell, or myocyte. So, one single myocyte, guys, meron yan siyang sarcomere. The sarcomere now here is will act as the basic contractile unit of your myocyte. Okay, so please remember each myocyte have or has a sarcomere because it enables it to do the voluntary and involuntary action of that particular muscle tissue. Okay, so let's understand or let's see. Can you appreciate first the individual myofibrils here? Ito yung mga blue and red dyan, no? So that will enable it to move. Can you see the sarcolemma or the plasma, the membrane, no? The plasma membrane of your muscle, the sarcolemma of it, the mitochondrions that are present, and then the nucleus that is present also. Okay, ang pinaka-importante dito na gusto kong makita ninyo is ito sila, this one. Okay, itong area na to. Okay, so appreciate that we have an I band, an A band, and another I band. Ano po yan sila, interchange po yan sila, no? Yung parang alternating po, I band, A band, and I band. That is one sarcomere po. I band, A band, and I band. Okay, alongside your I band, you have the Z disc. Okay, ito, yan, the Z disc. Another I band, meron dyang C disc. Inside your A band, you have yung tinatawag natin na H zone. Okay, the H zone, and then the M line. Okay, bakit ko binibigyan ng highlight ito, guys? Because dito nangyayari yung pag-contract ng ating muscle. The reason why your muscle is able to do contraction, it's because of this. It's because of the sarcomere. Okay, isa-isayin natin yan, guys, no? In the next slide. Okay, let's see. Okay, so under the microscope, longitudinal sections of muscle fibers show a cross formation, no, or cross striation of your light band, which is the A band, no, light band, ito sila, and the dark band, which is the A band. Okay, the A band. So this is the light, and then the dark. Okay, so LDL. Yan talaga yung ano yan, guys, pattern niya, no, LDL. Okay, these cross striations corresponds to transverse striations of alternating light and dark bands. Kasi pasabot ato, under the microscope, guys, no, makikita mo talaga doon na kapag darker yung area, that is an A band. Kapag lighter yung area, that is an I band. Okay, so let's see what is under the microscope po. Okay, ito yung mukha niya under the microscope. Let's try to appreciate, no? Ayan. Can you appreciate itong white area dito? This one. That is the I band. In between the I band is yung tinatawag natin na Z line. Okay? So it is a dark line which bisects or split your I band into two. Okay? It bisects your I band. Okay? Yan. Z line yan siya. Okay? Now, can you appreciate the dark bands here or the dark structure here? That is your A band. So once again, L, D, L. Okay? So, I band, A band, and I band. Okay. So, let's move on sa next slide natin. I'll be explaining to you ano yung mga Z line na yan, M line, and H zone. No? So, let's see. Okay. Let's start first with the Z line. Okay. Itong Z disc. No? It can be line or disc. Okay. So, Z line, ito yung pangalan niya. Hindi ko na ma-pronounce yan, guys. No? Basta yan ang tawag sa kanya. It is the dark line which bisects your I band. Okay. So, they are repeating units which makes up your myofibrils. Okay? And then, understand that the H band, which is in the middle, no? The H band or H zone, meron siyang other names din, guys. So, please be familiarized or memorize these things. Okay? It is the lighter zone in the center of the A band. Yan lang, ang tawag dyan sa lighter zone sa center ng A band natin is the H zone or the H band. Okay, now what do you call the thing that bisects, no, your H band ngayon or your H zone? This one. Ang tawag dyan is your M line. Okay, ito yung pangalan niya. Feel ko kung mga Russian guro ata yung mga nakadiscover ani, no. So they are thin and dark bands which bisect your H band. Okay, don't worry, guys, you'll be learning more kung paano anong function nila, no, as we go through with the discussion. So I hope you listen carefully and do take notes. Okay, so this is a structure, no? A compared diagram, itong diagram, and then kung ano yung makita natin under the microscope. Okay, in the diagram, guys, no, let's take a look. We have the I band here, another I band here, and in the middle is your A band. Remember, that's all of this together, itong tatlo, yan siya, is a one sarcomere unit. Okay? So, ano ba yung sarcomere unit natin? It is the contractile unit of your myocyte. Okay, so without this, your myocyte will able to do contraction. Okay, So under the microscope, ganito ang itsura nila. So once again, itong Z disc or the Z line, it bisects, no, your I band. Yung ating H zone or H band, it dissect your A band, no? Ito yan siya. Yan, parang puti na yan. Yan. Okay? So, paano ba nangyayari ang muscle contraction? Nangyayari muscle contractions because of, number one, you need to have a nerve impulse. Okay? So, a nerve impulse triggers the release of ACH or yung acetylcholine natin from the synaptic knob into the synaptic cleft. Basically, guys, no, kapag ang brain natin decided to do something, let's say, for example, i-flex mo yung arm kasi nagpakita ka ng biceps mo kay baby girl, no? So, your brain will send nerve impulses, no, which triggers the release of your acetylcholine, no, from the synaptic knob into the synaptic cleft. As ACH will bind to SACH receptors in the motor end plate of the neuromuscular junction, which now initiate a muscle impulse in the sarcolemma of the muscle fiber. Kumbaga, ito yan siya, no? Ito yung nangyari dyan. Okay? So, from the nerve impulse, guys, no? Yan, ito mga synaptic vesicles, these are the ones that carries the nerve impulse, okay? And then from there, the motor end plates ngayon, guys, will receive that impulse, no, inside, papasok sa ating sarcolemma. Remember, sarcolemma is the plasma membrane of muscle fiber. Tama? Tama. Okay, then let's proceed to number 2. As the muscle impulse spreads quickly from the sarcolemma along the T tubules, okay, yung terminal tubules natin, calcium ions are released from the terminal cisternae into the sarcoplasm. Okay, remember, kapag meron na yung ating mga nerve impulse na yan, guys, no, yung mga muscle impulse na yan, mag-spread na yun siya inside the sarcolemma, let's say nakapasok na siya, no, along the T tubules, yung ating calcium ions ngayon, they will be released, no, from the terminal cisternae to the sarcoplasm. Remember, ano gani ang sarcoplasm? That is the cytoplasm of your muscle tissue. Okay, so ibig sabihin, in bottom line, no, saan dadaan yung ating mga muscle impulse? Sa T tubules. Okay, this one, itong green, yan sila. Yan sila ang mga T tubules natin. So it will carry it will carry the muscle impulses inside, no, sa ating sarcoplasm. Okay, let's proceed to the next slide, do, para at least ma-appreciate niyo. Okay, number 3, di ba may present na ng calcium sa ating sarcoplasm? Tama? Tama, sir. That calcium ions ngayon will bind to the troponin, no? The troponin. The troponin changes its shape, no? The troponin changes shape, moving the tropomyosin on the actin to expose active sites on actin molecules of the thin filaments. Basically, ang sinasabi dito, calcium plus troponin, no, will make your tropomyosin move. Okay? Now, exposing the active sites on the actin molecules of the thin filaments. Okay? So, anong kailangan? Kailangan there is calcium plus troponin. Okay? Ngayon, kapag exposed na yung active sites on actin molecules of the thin filament, myosin heads of thick filament attached to the exposed active sites. Okay? Since na-expose na yung active sites natin, this one, ito sila, na-expose na sila. Kaya mag-twist man yan siya, guys, no? Ngayon, yung ating thick filaments now will try to attach dun sa mga exposed active sites, no, na nasa actin molecules natin sa thin filaments, making now a cross bridge. Okay, magto-turn manguna siya, guys. Okay? So, with that motion, no, I think we can start the contraction process. Okay? So, let's see the next slide. For number 4, the myosin head pivot moving thin filaments toward the sarcomer center. So, ibig sabihin, guys, parang pattern yung kanyang no, yung movement niya. So, the repeating cycle of attach, pivot, detach, return, and slides of thin and thick filaments pass one another, making a contraction. The sarcomer shortens and the muscle contracts. Ibig sabihin, itong pag-move niya, no, 'di ba? Remember niyo to, tignan natin na this is the sarcomer area. Itong may green dyan, that is your I band. Itong buong area na to is the A band. Itong buong area na to is the I band. So basically, saan yung mga nag-move, guys? In the A band area. Okay, tandaan, the A-band area. Habang nangyayari ito guys, no, the ATP binds the myosin heads and is broken down into ADP and P. Bakit need ma-broken down ng ATP, sir? Because, 'di ba, kailangan ma-breakdown ng ATP for us to have an energy. 'Di ba ganoon man talaga nangyayari? You need to break down the ATP to ADP and phosphate to have energy, for the energy to be released. So, sir, does it mean that contracting your muscle uses energy? Yes po. Okay, so please understand that muscle contraction uses energy. That's why, if kanang in every movement that we do, napapagod tayo. Okay? Napapagod tayo. Let's check the number 5. For the number 5, guys, no, when the impulse stops, okay? Since 'di ba, it all started from the impulse, 'di ba, yung nerve impulses na pinapadala from the brain, tama? And then hanggang sa magkaroon tayo ng calcium, 'di ba? Calcium plus troponin, and then ma-expose ang sa thin filaments ng mga active site, and then that active site na nasa thin filaments natin will bind, no, didikit dyan yung ating thick filament, no, making a parang twisting, no, yung pivot, attach, detach, yung parang ganun na movement, and that movement will generate now yung ating contraction. Okay, and habang ginagawa niya yung ganito na movement, guys, yung parang twist and turn, ATP is being converted to ADP and phosphate, because yung pag broken down nito, guys, it will release energy, making it patuloy pa din. Okay, ngayon if we want to stop the contraction, no, when the impulses stop, ibig sabihin yung ating source ng nerve impulse natin, your brain decided not to do it anymore, no, the calcium ions are actively transported back into the sarcoplasmic reticulum. So yung calcium ions natin na present sa sarcoplasm, di ba, sa sarcoplasm nito siya present, will now go back, okay, to the sarcoplasmic reticulum. Tropomyosin recovers the active sites, yung active sites natin will be covered again, no? And the filaments passively slide back. So ibig sabihin, magpunta naman sila pabalik kung saan sila need. Okay? To the relaxed state. So ibig sabihin, yung kanina na naka-twist and turn will go back to the relaxed state. Okay? So I hope naintindihan niyo, no? So let's have a comparison between sa mukha ng relaxed state and then sa fully contracted state ng muscle. So let's see. So this is an example of a diagram ng ating relaxed state, no? So by the way, this is a sarcomere. Okay, sarcomere na siya, guys, no? Saan makita ang sarcomere? Sa myocyte. Okay, sa myocyte. So can you appreciate that everything is hindi sila tawag yan, the thin filaments here are far, no, from each other. Okay, they are far from each other, malayo sila sa thick filament, no, they are not joined together. It's because it is in the relaxed state. Ibig sabihin, walang nerve impulse that will cause yung mga calcium to be released, 'di ba, sa sarcoplasm. So ibig sabihin walang ganun. So ibig sabihin ganito yung normal na state nila. So ibig sabihin itong ganito na arm natin is in a relaxed state. Under the microscope, guys, ganito ang mukha niya. Okay, the these are here, yan. The eye band are here, ayan. So ibig sabihin, can you appreciate, no, na medyo yung dark staining dito, 'di ba? Medyo dark pa, kasi because it is in the relaxed state, no, walang mga nangyayari pa na movement. Okay, so please understand itong ating diagram, no. So let's move on sa ano pa lang nangyayari or ang mukha kapag if it is in the contracted state. Okay. Ayan. Okay, so when there is contraction, kapag meron na yung calcium plus troponin natin, 'di ba? Ganun naman. Kapag present na yan sila, guys, no, the thin fibers, the thin filaments here will now make contact with the thick filaments. By the way, these are the thick, ha. Ito yung mga thin. So they will form a parang twist and turn na movement, no? So as they do that, guys, no, in the A band, it will make it contracts. Okay? So, ang itsura na yan under the microscope or electron microscope is this one. Okay? Can you appreciate? Hindi na po dark masyado ang ating A band. It's because it is now undergoing contraction. Okay? So, compare natin dito kanina na madilim or darker. Diba? Dito, guys, is hindi na. Okay? Hindi na. Okay, so I hope na intindihan natin, no? So ngayon, guys, if a-view ko kayo under the microscope, pag makita ninyo na darker yung A band, no? Pag darker yung A band, ibig sabihin it is in the relaxed state. Kapag makita naman ninyo no, na yung ating diagram is lighter yung A band, ibig sabihin it is in the fully contracted state. Okay? So let's talk about the different skeletal muscle types. So we have different skeletal muscle type. We have the red and the white. Okay? So the red is the slow twitch muscle. It contracts at a slower rate but capable of continuous contraction. Using this is they do not fatigue easily. They are richer in blood supply than white and they have high content of red pigments such as your myoglobin, no, which is myo means muscle, di ba? And mitochondrial cytochromes. Many mitochondria that are smaller in diameter. An example ng ating red muscle is yung long muscles of the back. Okay? So they contract at a slower rate and they do not fatigue easily. Okay? Pero nga nung sakit man akong likod. No? So base igikapoy na nga to ang red muscle. Okay? So for the white muscle guys, no, which is the fast twitch muscle, it contracts rapidly but briefly. No, mabilis siya magamit and it fatigues fast. They have low myoglobin content and fewer mitochondria that are large in diameter than red. Example nito is your extraocular muscles. Okay, the extraocular muscles. Okay, so I have here a diagram of the skeletal muscle types. No, I want you all to review this. No, take a screenshot if you want and supplement it with a book because that is really important for you to understand. We have the slow oxidative fibers. We have the fast oxidative glycolytic fibers and then the fast glycolytic fibers lang without the oxidation. Okay, so they are type 1, type 2A and type 2B respectively. Okay, so please memorize it. Okay, for the skeletal muscle guys, under the microscope, what I want you to know is yung kanyang picture, no? Can you appreciate the striations, di ba? Yan ang spelling ng striation. Joke, basta the striations. Okay, striations, this one. Ayan, can you appreciate the striations here in your skeletal muscle? So, ibig sabihin guys, no, that if may makita kayong striation, tapos presence ng ating mga perimysium and yung mga bagay na yan, that is a skeletal muscle. Okay, so this is an example of a longitudinal section and this is an example of a cross section. So sa cross section guys, you can't see, hindi ka makakita dyan ng striation. Okay, you can only see the striation of a skeletal muscle in your longitudinal section. Okay, so I hope klaro sa inyo yung mukha ng ating skeletal muscle, no, para at least hindi kayo mawala. Okay, so let's have a review. Okay, your individual muscle fiber, anong gano'n nag-cover sa kanila? Or they are enveloped by your endomysium. Very good. Okay, when they are together, they form, anong tawag sa gina-form nila? Muscle fiber bundle or muscle fascicles. Okay, kapag maraming muscle fascicles, no, ang nag-envelope dyan sa kanila, ito is what we call the perimysium. Okay, I hope you still understand yung sinasabi natin, no? Perimysium. Okay, ngayon, yung buong muscle na yan, no? Ang buong muscle fascicles, they are grouped together and is enveloped by something. That something is what we call the epimysium. Okay, so I hope naintindihan ninyo what I'm trying to say, no? So ito mga pula-pula dito guys, na yan sila, those are all blood vessels po. They are blood vessels. Remember that your skeletal muscle needed abundant amount of blood supply, okay, for it to be active. So let's move on sa next slide natin. For the next slide, no, this is a picture of a skeletal muscle tissue. Can you still appreciate the striation? So sir, may striation. So this is a longitudinal section. Very good. Tama ka. Kasi makita mo ang striation. Okay? So we have the different nucleuses here. Yan yung nucleus sa gilid. Bakit nga ulit ang mga nucleus na sa gilid? It's because when the myoblast, no, yung myoblast decided to do fusion, nagiging ganun kasi ang itsura nila. Okay? Ayan. And then multiple myoblast, no, mag-decide sila magdikit-dikit guys, no. Eventually the nucleus will go on the peripheral side. Okay? So another picture para at least mas ano ninyo, no, ma-appreciate ninyo. By the way, itong isang buong ganito, yan, that is a one skeletal muscle cell. And then another skeletal muscle cell naman. Okay? Ayan. Okay? So we have a skeletal muscle here, and another skeletal muscle here. Okay. So can you please appreciate the nucleus that are found in the peripheral of this? Yes, sir. Okay. So ngayon, guys, I want you to all to look at this one. Okay? So since in the diagram, it is said that meron tayong I band here and then A band here. Sa tingin nyo, saan banda located ang isa pa niyang I band? Very good. If your answer is on this part, okay, tama kayo. Okay? And this part right here is what we call the sarcomere. Okay, sarcomere. The contractile unit of your myocyte. Okay, so let's proceed sa ating cardiac muscle, guys. No? Actually, madali na lang itong cardiac muscle natin, di ba? So, ano nga main differentiating factor or yung parang ating point of reference na makasabi tayo na ay cardiac muscle yan? The intercalated disc. Okay, so when the intercalated disc, which is this one, yan ang itsura niya, guys, no? The intercalated disc is present. It means what you are looking at under the microscope is a cardiac muscle. Okay, they are unique in cardiac muscle. They are cross change of cardiac muscle cells at a irregular interval, which makes it capable of doing involuntary contraction. Okay, represent the junctional complexes of a muscle cell. They anchors myofibrils and allows for instantaneous spread of contractile stimulus. So same lang din, guys, kung anong structure, ano yung meron sa ating isang myocyte, yun din yung meron sa ating cardiac muscle. So let's see, tingnan natin. Okay, so kanina you all have the idea na kung paano mag-move or paano nagkakaroon ng contraction sa ating skeletal muscle. It is still the same thing with your cardiac muscle, guys, no? Meron din siyang sarcomere, meron din siyang I band, A band, and I band. Okay, so meron din siyang mga Z disc, M line, and H zone. No, same thing, same action, same mechanism ginagawa. However, since this is a cardiac muscle, there is a constant supply. 'Di ba kanina sa skeletal muscle natin, we need that stimulus, no? We need that nerve muscle impulse ba 'yon? No? From the brain, 'di ba? From the brain to be deposited para magkaroon tayo ng calcium plus troponin and then tuloy-tuloy and so on and so forth. Na here in the cardiac muscle, it's just that there is a constant supply of that thing, no? Tuloy-tuloy lang yung pag-supply ng ating calcium, no? Calcium and troponin na reaction. That's why continuous lang din ang pagbeat ng heart and regulated siya. That's why ang ating beats per minute, guys, no, meron tayong normal range. Okay? So gusto ko i-share sa inyo, this is actually something that you learn sa inyong chemistry puhon-puhon, but i-share ko na lang. 'Di ba, importante sa movement nitong lahat is napansin niyo is yung ating calcium, tama? Calcium plus the troponin. Okay. As we get older, guys, no, yung mga calcium diyan na that is supposed to be constantly being released there kasi para constant magbeat ang heart natin, no. Sometimes, no, as we get older, nagka-calcify yan sila. They tend to do calcification. Okay? So, as we get older, kapag mag-calcify yung mga calcium na nandito, so, ibig sabihin, ma-deplete na yung calcium levels, di ba? Na supposed to be mag-aid sa contraction ng ating sarcomere. Tama? Tama, sir. So, what do you think will happen to you? Very good. If your answer is sir, you might experience heart problems, heart attack. Yes, you are correct. That's why ang advice ko lagi sa mga kilala ko, lalo na yung mga age 45 above, no, is to have a constant check-up. No, ipa-check up yung mga electrolytes nyo, particularly the calcium levels natin. Because we need it to have a constant amount kaya para at least ang mangyayari dyan is yung maintained ang ating heartbeat, maintained ang ating puso. Okay? So ngayon, sir, imagine niyo, guys, no, what if, since calcium is very important, what if, no, hindi enough yung calcium mo sa daily, sa pagkain mo, sa mga kinakain mo, anong sa tingin mo unang gagawin ng body mo? Ang unang gagawin ng body mo, the calciums that are present sa inyong bone, 'di ba? Kasi nga sa bone natin may calcium man. That's why ang mangyayari diyan is bibiaking ngayon or your osteoclast will do bone resorption. It will destroy parts of the bone na merong calcium para magamit ng body mo ngayon. Ganun ang nangyayari, no? Patuloy niyang gagawin yan hanggang enough just to keep you alive. Ngayon, if your calcium naman na nasa bone natin is not enough, no? Yung paubos na, depleted na. Tapos hindi ka pa nag-inom ng gatas or wala ka talagang pagkain, wala kang kinain at all. Ano sa tingin mo mangyayari sa'yo? You will suffer extreme you will suffer heartache, heartbreak, yung heart attack, yung mga ganong bagay. Okay, so that's why calcium is very important. So I really advise you to drink yung mga milk guys if kaya ninyo. Inom kayo ng gatas, wag puro kape, no? Or kung magkape man kayo, lagyan nyo ng gatas. Okay? So, importante ang gatas. I hope naintindihan ninyo kung how do these things happen, no? Kasi it's the same. But here, regulated, no? Or constant yung ating pag-deposit ng constant. Yan. Constant yung pag-deposit ng calcium dito sa area na to. Unlike sa ating skeletal muscle fiber. Okay? So, let's take a look sa picture naman ito under the microscope. Okay? So, once again, ito nasa taas is the longitudinal section. Because, ano pala tandaan natin? You can see striation. Whereas, this one na nasa baba is the cross section. Okay. Sir, ano pala tandaan natin dito? Ang palatandaan niyo guys is the presence of the intercalated disc. Yan sila, oh. Yan. Okay? Yung mga linya-linya na yan, those are all intercalated discs. Okay? So, please understand that only your cardiac muscle have intercalated disc. And then, ano pa? The nucleus, guys. No? If maalala ninyo sa ating skeletal muscle, the nucleus is found in the periphery, di ba? Here, the nucleus is central. Okay? Or centered. Okay? I hope naintindihan ninyo, guys, no? Kasi, ito yan. It is something na dapat binabasa natin and then dapat supplement nyo rin ng book on your end. Okay? So, ano pa? Same thing din, guys. Kung merong endomysium ang skeletal, meron ding endomysium. Because yung mga endomysium, perimysium na yan, no? And yung ating, ano ganin siya? Endo, perimysium, pati yung isa pa, no? Those are all needed by the muscle tissue. Those are the basic component or basic linings of your connective tissue. Epimysium. Those are all the basic components para magkaroon tayo ng connective tissue, ng muscle tissue. So, please remember that you can appreciate yung mga endomysium na yan, perimysium na yan, and epimysium na yan in the cross section. You can appreciate yung mga striation na yan in the longitudinal section. Okay? So, let's move on sa next slide natin, which is a longitudinal section of cardiac muscle. So, I want you all to please appreciate the presence of the intercalated disc here. Ito pa, intercalated disc. Yan, intercalated disc. Intercalated disc. Okay? The nucleus are bigger. No? Bigger. Okay? Bigger. So, I mean, based sa picture, guys, no? If wala talaga kang alam na, may intercalated disc, you will genuinely, I think, no? Isip agad na baka ano to siya, skeletal muscle tissue. Okay? So, please understand na this is a cardiac muscle. Ang palatandaan natin is the intercalated disc. Okay? For the last type of muscle, we have the smooth muscle. Okay? So, ang smooth muscle, may striation? Wala. Wala, sir. Very good. May intercalated disc? Wala. Wala din, sir. Very good. So, tanong ko, sagot ko, mura tanga. Okay, so let's move on sa next slide natin. So, this is a picture of your smooth muscle. Your smooth muscle, guys, have a centrally located nucleus, no? And then, saan makita ang kanyang nucleus? Sa kanyang wide part, no? Wide part. And then, it will form a narrow end. Yan, parang same kami, no? Yung drawing ko, pati diagram is halos the same dito. Okay? So, let's move on sa next slide, no? Let's check it under the microscope. Itong sa taas is the longitudinal section of the smooth muscle and sa baba is ating cross section of the smooth muscle. Okay? Same thing lang din, guys, no? Same thing ang makikita natin. But, kung papansin niyo, wala kayong makita mga striations dyan. Diba? Wala. It's because sa smooth muscle is walang striation. Anong palatandaan natin, guys, no? The nucleus is big but flat. Okay? The nucleus here is big and flat. And then, meron tayong tinatawag na yung parang narrow end niya. Yung parang point niya. Yan. Hanapin niyo, for example, in this particular drawing, no? Picture this one. Ayan. Ito siya. Ayan. Okay? Ito kasi, guys, blood vessel man to. These are blood vessels. Okay? So, these are example of a smooth muscle, no? Na picture or diagram. Okay? So, remember that smooth muscle is found in the different parts of the body na walang skeletal muscle. Diba? Makita ang smooth muscle sa heart? Hindi. Hindi. Anong meron doon? Only your cardiac muscle. Okay? So, sir, pwede pa rin ba namin tawagin na fibers ang sa smooth muscle? Yes po. You can call them smooth muscle fibers. It means you are only referring to the smooth muscle cell or the smooth muscle myocyte. Okay? So, another picture para mas klaro talaga, guys, no? Tingnan natin. Okay, so this is an example of smooth muscle. Tandaan, smooth muscle, meron siya yung kanyang narrow end, no? Parang ganun. Ayan. Okay, the nucleus is found in the wide portion of the cell. And then yung narrow end din, ito, binilugan na para sa inyo. Okay? So, tandaan din natin that the smooth muscle has a spindle-shaped cell or the fusiform shape. Ayan. Okay? So, ang contraction ng ating smooth muscle, guys, no, is involuntary because we cannot control it naman, 'di ba? So, ibig sabihin, halos the same or same sila ng heart. Okay? But ang gusto ko kasi malaman niyo dito that kaya siya maka-move involuntary, it's not because of the presence ng intercalated disc and all, but because of the structure nila. Kasi ganito 'yan. Ang yung smooth muscle, ganito kasing structure niyan, no? Ayan. Yung hindi sila nagka-fuse, pero yung mga narrow end nila, guys, no, halos magkakasama-sama. Parang ganyan. Ayan. Tapos another na naman. Okay? Yung mga gaps dito, this one, yung mga gaps nila dyan, in between, no, yan yung mga nag-enable sa kanila para mag-move, no, para mag-contract involuntarily. Okay? It's not because of the intercalated disc, but rather it's because of the shape of your smooth muscle itself. Okay? So, let's have a comparison of the three. Okay. So, for the review, no, I want you all to take a look at this and memorize everything that is present here because this is important to you. Okay? So, tandaan natin, ang smooth muscle is spindle in shape or fusiform, no? Ang skeletal muscle is long, 'di ba? Ano pa? Multi-nucleated, many nucleus at the peripheral. Ang cardiac muscle, meron siyang 1 or 2 and central. Whereas the smooth muscle is only 1, diba? Saan siya located? Doon sa wide part niya. Okay? Diyan located ang kanyang nucleus. Okay? Striation, yes, yes, and no. So, please memorize this diagram, guys, because this will really help you to better understand the structures of your skeletal, cardiac, and smooth muscle. Okay? Sarcomere, present, yes, yes. No, gaya ng sinabi ko kanina, 'di ba? Hindi siya maka-move or hindi siya involuntary ang kanyang movement, not because of the intercalated disc, not because of different structure, but rather it's because sa mismong shape ng inyong smooth muscle. Okay? So, may voluntary contraction lang is your skeletal muscle, and then distinctive characteristic, peripheral nuclei, intercalated disc, and then lacks of striation. Yan yung palatandaan natin. Okay, so for the last slide natin, it is this one. Okay, I want you all to memorize or familiarize with the structures na nakikita ninyo. So this is the skeletal muscle, this is the cardiac muscle, and the smooth muscle. Okay, so I think this is the end of the lecture. Thank you so much for listening and God bless. Salamat po. Mabuhay kayong lahat.